Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to this week's Policy Manthan discussion. And the topic for our today's Policy Manthan discussion is role of school education in character building. Before starting the discussion, I would request everyone to please switch on their cameras for a lively discussion. Meanwhile, I request all the speakers to please write their subtopics in the chat box. So let's begin with the discussion. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. These words by Nelson Mandela perfectly explain the importance of education. Education is not just about acquiring knowledge and skills. It also plays a critical role in shaping an individual's character. Character building is a lifelong process that begins in childhood and continues throughout one's life. When it comes to education, school education indeed play a crucial role in shaping the character of individuals. It provides students with the opportunity to learn important values such as honesty, respect, responsibility, etc. Schools can also promote positive behavior and attitudes by encouraging students to participate in community service, leadership activities, and extracurricular programs. These activities help students to develop teamwork, communication, and problem-solving skills, which are essential for character building. In addition, school can provide a safe and supportive environment for students to develop their social skills and emotional intelligence. Overall, school education can have a significant impact on the character development of individuals, helping them to become responsible, caring, and productive members of society. Therefore, in this Policy Manthan discussion, we will discuss the topic of role of school education in character building. Now, I would like to over to you, Ria ma'am.
Yes, no doubt that schools play a very important role in shaping a person, and it is really a deciding factor when it comes to who we become as a person in our life. So, without any further ado, let's start with the discussion. Please drop in your names along with the topic which you're going to talk about in the chat, and we will start with Shivani. Can you please initiate the discussion?
Am I audible to you all?
Yes, you are, Shivani.
Okay, so good evening everyone. First of all, मेरा टॉपिक मैंने जो मतलब लिया है वो है इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ स्कूल करिकुलम एंड स्ट्रक्चर इन कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग. सो एज वी ऑल नो कि स्कूल करिकुलम हम लोग को मतलब एक वेल डिफाइंड रूटीन में डाल देता है कि किस समय क्या पीरियड होगा और कौन सा सब्जेक्ट का होगा, एंड वी नो अबाउट दैट सब्जेक्ट कि उस सब्जेक्ट में हम लोग को क्या मिलेगा हम लोग को लर्न करने को. सो द मेन फैक्टर इज कि स्कूल करिकुलम कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग कैसे करता है. तो पहले तो यही हम लोग ने देखा कि एक इंसान को वो ऐसे रूटीन में डाल देता है कि उसको पता होता है कि इस टाइम पे क्या होना है और वो वेल डिफाइंड रूटीन में बंध जाता है या फिर वो मतलब उस रूटीन को अच्छे से फॉलो करता है ताकि जिससे वो एक वेल डिफाइंड पर्सन बन जाता है कि उसको पता होता है कि अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज पता होती है और हर एक टाइम पे वो चीजें करता है. सेकेंड वन इज कि ये एक पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड क्रिएट करता है किसी भी इंडिविजुअल के अंदर ताकि वो स्ट्रॉन्ग माइंडेड पर्सनालिटी बिल्डअप कर सके. पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड रहता है कि कब क्या करना है. And the third one is कि it teaches to respect other cultures and tradition and to maintain a peaceful and harmonious atmosphere. इससे कि पीसफुल एंड हार्मोनियस एटमॉस्फेयर भी क्रिएट होता है क्योंकि ये एक पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड किसी इंडिविजुअल के अंदर क्रिएट करता है जिससे कि उसे ये सेंस होता है और ये एथिक होता है कि सारे कल्चर्स और ट्रेडिशंस को हम लोग को रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए. एंड इट ऑल्सो वी ऑल्सो नो कि बोर्डिंग स्कूल में तो इतनी पंचुअलिटी होती है कि हर टाइम पे उठना, टाइम पे खाना, टाइम पे कपड़े धोना, टाइम पे बैठना, टाइम पे स्कूल की क्लासेस लेना. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो मतलब वो भी एक काफी अच्छा फैक्टर है कि कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग कैसे होता है किसी इंडिविजुअल का. सो दैट्स ऑल.
Thank you so much, Shivani. Now, I would like to call upon Prithviram, and he will speak on the topic role of school education in developing leadership skills.
Good evening, everyone. This is Prithviram here. I will be talking upon how school education is shaping and developing leadership skills among students. I believe that leadership skills, unlike other skills, you need not have leadership skills from the beginning. You can acquire leadership skills over a period of time. So, leadership, it's an essence, and uh, it has the ability to inspire and guide others towards a common purpose. So, I believe it's not limited to selected few, but can be fostered and nurtured when a group of students from who have different thought process, who have different uh, ideas of their own come together. So schools play a crucial role in unlocking this leadership potential, and that lies dormant within our youth. So the first thing is that school provides a platform for students to develop certain qualities like self-confidence, self-awareness towards various issues. And for example, when you put 30 kids in a classroom who are from different households, who are from different backgrounds, they get to analyze each and every one of them. They get to mingle with each and every one of them, and they find out what is unique to themselves. They find out what the hidden talent they have, and they somehow nurture this leadership trait in a due course of time. So schools encourage this participation in a classroom among various children, and apart from classroom participation, it also uh, paves way for this extracurricular activities, activities in various clubs, activities in sports. And schools drive students towards their passion, develop their strengths, recognize their unique abilities, and help them bring out these unique abilities in a classroom of 30 under various circumstances. And through these experiences, students learn to believe in themselves. They set goals for themselves, persevere in the face of challenges, and develop what are all the traits that are essential for a leader. So um, through this civic education, they not only develop the leadership skills, but they also learn how to work in a community, how to work in a society, how to uh, understand people, how to be a good citizen in a nation. So they get to learn about this social interaction in a classroom where 30 to 40 other kids are from different households. And by engaging in student discussion, in debates, in getting to mingle with this student community, schools empower them to become socially conscious individuals who in due course of time develop leadership skills, and some of them even become good leaders when they get to communicate with this student community. And especially in an Indian scenario, India is culturally and linguistically and socio-economically diverse. And so students eventually learn to bridge these gaps when they interact with others, and they work towards the betterment of all. And students in schools foster an environment that celebrates diversity, and it encourages dialogue, and teacher student relations also get enriched in this process. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prithviram, for highlighting the importance of school education and character building in context of leadership. So yeah, no doubt that we are facing many challenges on a societal level, and we need more and more people who could take initiatives to tackle these challenges. So next, I would like to invite Anushri Sahu to add her perspective on how teachers become idol for students. Yes, Anushri, please.
Hi, am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Anushri, you're audible.
Okay. So I'd like to address a topic that I believe is very important in the realm of education, the profound impact of teachers as role models in the character development of students. So as a student, the time we spent most out of home is in a schooling system or an educational institution. And the the people who nurture these qualities and impart that education in us is our guiding mentors, our teachers, our professors, etc. So within our schooling systems, teachers hold a unique position of influence and responsibility. And beyond imparting knowledge and academic skills, they have the power to shape the very essence of the students' characters. So teachers as role models, I believe, possess the ability to inspire, guide, and nurture the minds and hearts of like young individuals. They embody the values, virtues, behaviors we need, like we watch in society and we wish to instill in our future generations. So when teachers, they're enhancing these traits like integrity, honesty through daily activities, like any classroom activity, they impart these certain skills, soft skills and values that build us for the rest of our lives, to tackle situations in our own lives. So they set a powerful examples that students can emulate and internalize. It's through these daily interaction that both inside and outside the classrooms that teachers have the opportunity to leave a mark on their students' character. Whether it's through their words, actions, attitudes, teachers become embodiments of the principles we're striving to instill in the hearts of our generation. So we consider teachers who display, say, unwavering kindness, compassion, or demonstrating the power of empathy. If you look at schooling systems that have the value inclusion and diversity a lot, so we see characters from students from different backgrounds, different races, different identities, all thriving together in one place. Who do you think makes that happen? The management, the teachers, the role models there, they're the ones who are shaping this harmony within an education system. And that, I think, is the next most important thing right after the academic part of it all. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anushri, for emphasizing on the point that the importance and the role of the teachers they play in imparting school education. Next, I would like to invite Mupana Ramitha to share their views.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, good evening, everyone. Today, I want to share some of my views on the topic role of school education in character building. So, unfortunately, these days there are many schools which provides only academics in the schools. So I think the measures that we need to take many measures in order to ensure that schools are providing value education in the schooling. So firstly, I would start with teacher training and development. So I personally believe that proper teacher comprehensive training must be given to the teachers, and in order to like ensure that they have proper skills to inculcate values among students. And apart from that, positive school culture and environment is also very much needed in order to cultivate these ethical values and all for the among students. So apart from these, one cannot do everything. So parents and communities involvement is also they must also have hand in this character building, and proper assessment and evaluation of the proper evaluation tools must be developed in order to like know the progress of character building, maybe qualitative or quantitative measures like interviews or some questionnaire forms can be developed in order to like know the progress. And apart from these, curriculum must also include integration of subjects with the activities like service-oriented projects, service learning projects, in which students will be able to put their academic knowledge in real life and also serve their communities as well. So a good mix of real life applications is also required. So curriculum must also include these projects such as which includes teamwork uh, and collaborative action. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for bringing in this perspective and like a very valid point raised that we solely focus on academics rather than focusing on the way personalities are built in school. And it is valid to some extent because things like grades, which can be easily seen on report cards, are more important to maybe your teachers and maybe the people who are like going to hire you in future. But definitely the qualities and like the person we become at our school is also very very crucial. Yeah. So on this note, let us invite our next speaker, Shivani. I'm sorry, Rakesh Jain, could you please go ahead? So Rakesh is going to talk about how technology can be used in character building.
Sorry, my name is Chepna.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, just I don't know. I'm not able to on my camera. I'm not able to on my camera. It says camera is not accessible.
Um, it's okay. You just can go ahead for now.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so technology plays a like valuable role in character building among students. Like technology provides access to a wide range of online resources like websites, educational platforms, and then the various applications that all helps in promoting character in students. So like these resources may actually include videos, articles, and like that games that which are designed to develop specific character traits and values. Hmm. And then like technology also enables the students to engage in media creation, allowing them to express their thoughts, emotions, and then by creating videos, blogs, podcasts on the social media content, students can also explore important themes related to character, and they also learn social responsibility and like share their insights to the broader audience. And technology like also facilitates collaboration, communicate, and also the communication among students. It fosters teamwork and cooperation. And then like online platforms such as video conference tools that actually provides opportunities to students to work together on projects, share ideas, develop their interpersonal skills, which are all essential for their character development. Then yeah, by operating these digital uh, tools, they also like they also know about the online behavior, digital footprints, cyberbullying prevention, and they also know to use the information properly. So it's important to note that while technology can be a powerful tool, its use in character building should be guided by thoughtful implementation. And So the involvement of teachers, parents in guiding students over the use of technology is also very important. that is very crucial to maximize the positive impact of technology on character development. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for raising the point of technology and raising its challenges as well as opportunities. Now, I would like to invite Pribhu Kumar to share their views.
Hello, ma'am. Uh, I would like to say that can you give me 5 or 10 minutes because I'm somewhere outside. Uh,
Yeah, sure, Bigu. Pratibha, you can go next, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
And also, ma'am, I'm suffering from a little problem, uh, so I'm also not comfortable to
Okay,
deliver
okay, Bigu,
my.
we
Yes,
got it. Yeah, thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Pratibha,
Hello,
can we hear
actually,
your
I'm
perspective
Samriddhi.
next?
I have login from another device, so its name shows Pratibha, but I'm Samriddhi, and I
Okay.
messaged you a few minutes earlier because of cut out my electricity cut out. So actually, this is my first Manthan, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I heard other people discussing about a topic they choose. So if you let me know, then I can decide a topic and have some points within the next 5 minutes, and I'll speak within the next 5 minutes. I just need a layout because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say.
Okay, Pratibha, we'll just move on to the next speaker. So basically, you're just supposed to give your opinions on the topic, whatever you feel about it, and like whatever aspects of the topic which you feel should be highlighted. You just talk about that.
Ria ma'am, I would like to add on some points, basically
Yeah.
regarding the new education policy. Like the new education policy aims to transform the education system by like focusing on the holistic development. And if I talk about holistic development, then it definitely talks about help in character building. Like the policy emphasize basically on the development of cognitive, social, and emotional and as well as ethical capacity of students. And NEP basically promotes experiential learning. Like experiential learning is basically the learning through experiences and activities. And I really like about that this approach helps students to develop critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making skills. So it also helps students to develop empathy, respect, and understanding for others. So the policy also emphasized on the importance of teacher training and development, and this is also good about this policy. And we know that teachers are essential in shaping the character of student, as one of the speaker also highlighted the same point. And the NEP also aims to provide teachers with training on socio-emotional learning and character education. So this will help teachers to create a positive as well as supportive learning environment, and which will ultimately foster the development of positive values and attitude. So the role of NEP is very crucial in the character building. So, and it will definitely help in becoming the students to develop into responsible, caring, and productive member of society. So this is all from my side.
Yes, thank you for the insights, Shivpriya. So now that we are done with almost all of the speakers, let us discuss some questions and like hear everybody's interesting perspectives about these questions. So let us touch on the role of school curriculum and the structure and the play, like this the role it would play in like shaping the character, because like we all know that most of the things that we learn in our life are like taken from our school curriculum, and like it really plays an important role in our life. So like it helps us explore our passion, and it like helps us explore different aspects of life, which we would have never been able to experience had there been no textbooks. So like what do you guys think about the role of school curriculum? Chitra, would you like to give your perspective on this?
Yeah, sure. I feel that there are various school curriculums across India, but for example, let's take the standard CBSE syllabus, CBSE curriculum and CBSE syllabus. Uh, as far as I've seen studying in CBSE, like it tries to be inclusive, but when it comes to the classroom, most of the activities that the curriculum covers, most of the uh, um, interesting aspects of the curriculum are missed out in classrooms, especially when it comes to the higher grades. When you move close to the higher secondary, the interesting aspects of the curriculum are usually missed. They only focus on the core topics, and then the activities and the some of the interesting areas where students are allowed to discuss, students are allowed to get along with each other, get along with the teachers, get along with think from a societal perspective, it gets missed out. So it would be great if schools can also incorporate these things from the curriculum.
Yes, Samriddhi.
Okay, so just as the previous speaker said it, I have actually experience in two boards, state board and CBSE board. And I have noticed the same thing that these boards focus more on bringing marks and less on teaching the subject or letting the students get a glimpse of the real life experience connecting to the subject. And this is what I focused more on. According to this, I also feel that curriculum should be more inclusive by, adding more discussions and more like a peer-to-peer discussion with teachers or with professional speakers and students, like relating to sex education or relating to finance. So the students get a knowledge about it, so they get a glimpse about the real life in the very early age of their schoolings. And if we include these things in the early age of schooling, then I think other than obviously the main subjects that we learn, like maths and science and history and all of those subjects, I think these subjects are also very important, but in India, many curriculum don't include them, or if included, they don't give them as such importance as it needs to be given.
I completely agree with you, Samriddhi. Thank you for raising the point. Now, next, I would like to call Anushri Sahu to share her
Yeah.
views.
1 minute. Give me a few minutes. I'm dealing with a network issue. I will speak in.
Sure. All right. So the basically our next question is, what means can be implemented, or what changes can be brought in the teaching methods to help induce more character building in students? Anyone? Shivani, could you please share your views? Mupanna?
Yeah, I just want to say that uh, different kinds of projects should be given to the students, as well as the school trips for, some educational trips must also be included in the education, so that they'll get real life experience and try to learn more from them.
Thank you so much, Mupanna, for sharing your views. Uh, next question. Next question, I want to highlight that what is the role of extracurricular activities in character building?
Yes, Anushri. Please go ahead.
I'll be keeping my video off because I've been having some network issues. But yeah, this is a topic actually close to my heart because as I'm in my final year of high school, I've been experiencing the whole the atmosphere of the applying for college race and what extracurriculars contribute to that And I've realized that while extracurriculars were mostly advertised as something to build your soft skills on, practice being your own person, and experiencing how real life would look like from your comfort zone. Uh, Extracurriculars actually are a lot more than just that. They teach you how to connect with the right people. They teach you what it means to grow up and what it means to take on risks and challenges beyond the security of your academic curriculum. And that is, of course, important in places like your portfolio, your college applications, etc. But there's another side to extracurricular activities that I've recently been experiencing myself. That is the more toxic side, and I think it's very important to know where to draw the line between pursuing an extracurricular activity to build yourself and pursuing it just for the sake of it, for the rat race. And there's, I think, the politics that has become involved in one-upping each other on extracurricular activities, being the better one, having more achievements, it's become an obsession. And I think we need to take a step back, reevaluate, go for what makes us happy, what builds us as a person, and pursue our passions in our extracurricular activity, which is what it's originally supposed to be about. It's to build yourself in the areas where you pursue what you love. So yeah, I think that is my.
Yes, thank you, Anushri. I guess I completely agree with your point that we are kind of deviating from the core objective of like implementing extracurricular activities. But mostly in the Indian setup, extracurricular activities do not hold that much of importance because for college admissions and all you need is good grades, and like that's pretty much all you need to get into, like that's pretty much all you would need to get into like a decent college. Okay, so let me invite Sampriti next because she wants to add something. Yes, Sampriti.
Okay, so I too agree with Anushri's point, and yes, has become a competition in today's generation when everyone is trying to get a certain level of extracurricular positions. But I think in today in Indian curriculum, extracurricular activities have not just become like an you know a side achievement. It has to be the main way, because students, as young students, we learn a lot from extracurriculars within and outside the classroom. And if we encourage young students today, and young students are more included in extracurricular activities other than having a goal to end up with a college admission, or to end up with some certificates, it's just for the fun and for the joy of it. I think that would help more in like character development, because we started as a young kids, we learn a lot with no gain in our mind, with no secondary motive in our mind that we have to get a college admission, so we need to do this, we need this, so we need to do this. I think if we take out those motives, we need to start at a very young age and encourage our students that they need to participate in any extracurricular activities, if it be within or outside the classroom. So I think that I too agree with Anushri.
Yes, yes. Thank you for bringing in that perspective, Samriddhi. Yes, definitely we should like pursue things which we are more passionate about rather than what people are expecting from us or colleges are expecting from us. Like, yes, that would help us in building our ethical character in many ways. Yeah. So, Anushri, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, so elaborating on something both you and somebody said, the fact that in Indian curriculums, extracurriculars are not viewed as the way they are abroad or in other education systems. What I've observed about this is there's like two types of attitudes regarding extracurriculars. There's one that does not really value extracurriculars, puts the numbers before the soft skills and the personality and the skill development. And then there's another category of environment of schooling where extracurriculars are viewed as a token to get into good colleges abroad or in the upcoming modern, well, upcoming colleges like Flame or like Ashoka, the ones that are newer, the ones that are adopting techniques that are a lot like the ones abroad. So the main issue I've experienced with extracurricular activities is the way they're advertised in these places. They're taken as competitions, and like somebody said, they should be more of a friendly way to build and inculcate diversity, build yourself, and build the people around you. So I think the way we can, as an education system, as people who are advocating for education systems, the way we can change this, shift this perspective, is that we can bring in extracurricular activities not to be seen in the lens of a competition. Take open mics for an example. They're just people who sit together, just put out their opinions, a lot like what we're doing now, without the incentive of winning or losing. The self-expression itself should be an incentive on its own. So I feel like extracurriculars aren't advertised as something like this often enough, and something like this that is important in any kind of education. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anushri, for sharing your views. Now, basically, I wanted to raise another question. What are the challenges that we face while implementing school education, and how it would when it comes to character building, how we can what are the problems we face and what how we can overcome those challenges when it comes to the implementation of education and in developing character building? Anyone? We have talked about opportunities, but we have not addressed the challenges. Shivani, would you like to share your views? Add on something, Shivani? Prithviram?
Can you repeat the question once again, ma'am? I got a glitch in between.
Sure. I'm asking about what are the challenges we face while when it comes to character building.
So some challenges that comes to my mind is, as I said, a school or a classroom community, it involves children from various backgrounds, various households, various socioeconomic backgrounds, whatever it is. But um, I think that in most of the classroom setups, all of them uh, are treated in a very common basis, and they don't. Maybe it is not suitable to each and every one of them. Maybe it's not suitable to each and every one of them in identifying their unique abilities. It's not. Maybe it's not suitable to identify the leadership skills. Maybe it works for some. Maybe it can work for a works on a broader picture. But what about the rest of the classroom? Like, it might work for some 20 to 25, but what about the remaining 5? So when you adopt a common way of addressing children, common way of uh, educating children, the drawbacks are obviously there. It may not be suitable to everyone else. And then when it comes to extracurricular activities, most of the schools um, do not focus on extracurricular activities and the depth they provide in their schools, uh, as they provide to this academic curriculum. Uh, Most of the schools, the extracurricular activities are pretty basic, and um, I don't think every student can fit into this restricted extracurricular setup. Um, Maybe that should be broadened, widened, and then yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Thank you so much, Prithviram, for sharing your views. I completely agree with you. Like when it comes to challenges, the main problem is that we face is accessibility, and especially when it comes to education, the government school faces this problem. Like I completely agree the point you raised about extracurricular activities, especially in villages. Like they are not, don't have like proper means to implement those extracurricular activities, especially in villages and government schools. So thank you for addressing the same. Uh, Anushri, would you like to add on something? Mupana, Samriddhi.
I just want to like highlight this point that this is a general observation that I've made, that parents mostly, mostly the parents think that extracurricular activities is not so important in education. So they believe that only the academics is more important, and I think there should be a change in the mindset of parents too in order to implement something first. So yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
sure. Yes, thank you for that, Mutbana. So yeah, like we need to change the mindset of parents, mindset of teachers, and the mindset of students as well. And like we should make this like a holistic transformational journey for the students to like kind of become a better person in life. So yeah, so the next question is like, I guess we all have learned something related to moral education in schools. So the moral education subject was a subject which was like heavily theoretical, and you had to like read and write a lot of the stuff rather than learning it. So how do you guys view the way moral education as a subject was taught in your schools? Everybody's perspectives are welcome.
Can you please simplify the question? I didn't get it quite well.
Yeah, I was saying that what like how do you guys view the way the moral education is taught in schools nowadays?
Can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so as you mentioned in your question itself, the moral education is very much theoretical, and the main problem associated with it is that both the teachers as well as the students lack interest in that particular moral education subject, because uh, even though the subject still exists, we most of the schools and most of the teachers somehow believe that this is a waste of time to cover a moral education in a classroom. The importance for moral education is very much decreased when compared to the other core subjects, and both the teachers and the students lack interest in it. That's one main point. And then uh, to enhance it, maybe there could be real-time activities that make students learn out of various situations they are put in as a group or as an individual, to learn morals from that particular situation. Maybe instead of conducting it as a theoretical subject, instead of uh, teaching it theoretically, there could be activity sessions where students can be put in a group and then provide real life circumstances, real life problems, which they could work upon and come up with a solution through which they can um, learn morals and then associate it with themselves personally. So that could be done.
Yes, thank you, Prithviraj. Yeah. So yes, moral education is like viewed more as a formality than like a subject that is to be taught very passionately to the students. So yeah, Shivani, do you want to add in your perspective?
Yes, ma'am. So, moral ethics मतलब इतनी इम्पोर्टेंस देके नहीं सिखाया जाता था। और इवन मेरे स्कूल में क्या था ना कि 8th क्लास तक ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाया जाता था, उसके बाद से तो ये बंद ही कर दिया गया था। मतलब जब चीजें कुछ हो जाती थी स्कूल में कि कभी कभी स्टूडेंट्स कुछ ज्यादा ही ओवर ड्रामेटिक हो जाते थे या ओवर ही मतलब उनके अंदर डिसेंसी नहीं होती थी और वो लोग थोड़ा शरारती या वट एवर कह सकते हैं करते थे, तो हमारी टीचर वॉज यूज टू से कि मॉरल एथिक्स वाला जो सब्जेक्ट होता है ना वो 12th तक तो पढ़ाना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि भले हम लोग ऐसा दिखाते हैं कि हाँ हम लोग को आता है या क्या, बट देयर इज समथिंग दैट वी डोंट नो एंड वी शुड इंक्रीज। मतलब आगे के पैटर्न में मेरे हिसाब से तो यही होना चाहिए कि मॉरल एथिक्स वाला जो सब्जेक्ट है ना वो 12th तक तो एटलीस्ट रहना ही चाहिए। सो दैट्स ऑल।
Thank you so much, Shivani. I wanted to add something like, as Shivani said, that we should add moral education till 12th. I believe we should add moral education in graduation as well. Like since NEP has been introduced and we have courses like VAC and SEC, value added courses, and subject enhancement courses. So I think the concept of moral education is still not been yet introduced in graduation as well. So I think this should be also added. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah, exactly, Shiv. Yeah. Yeah, so people from batch 2 have joined. So please put in your names in the chat box along with the topic that you're going to talk about so that we can call you one by one. Yes, anybody else who would like to add their perspective about this?
Can I say something?
Yes, Amriti, please go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, as Prithviram and Shivani said that moral education is just an formality. I completely agree with that. And from my perspective, it's something what that because the subject doesn't carry as much marks or weightage in the total mark, that teachers don't, take the effort to come to class and teach students with the same energies, with same inclusivity that they teach their own subjects. For example, if a teacher is very enthusiastic about her subject, she'll take her time up to explain every student their subject, but for the same moral education, no one gives any importance. So again, if we put marks for the moral education subjects until graduation, I don't know if that would be the greatest idea, because either it would be again treated as a formality, or if you add up marks, it would be treated as just as something that you can just score marks by writing a lot of answers, just any methods that get you marks, like we do in today's time, when we just complete an exam just for the basis of marks, and not because, oh, I have learned something, oh, I enjoyed what I learned today, with not with that mindset. So again, this is a very contradicting statement if we want to put moral education into the higher curriculum. Or maybe just we can inclusive it, like teachers and school need to take an effort upper, and maybe make the subject more enjoyable, more inclusive, so that students enjoy the subject and learn something from it, rather than making it just as a formality or just a marks gaining subject that would help you total up your boards exam or total up your final marks. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Samriti, for your insights. Yeah, so definitely it should carry, like the moral education should carry some marks, like it should carry some weightage so that people treat it with importance. But it also heavily depends on how like people how passionately people are willing to study that subject and how passionately teachers are willing to like teach that subject. So yeah, on this note, let us hear from Akanksha.
Yes, so hello students, I mean, hello everyone. I was listening to all the discussion. Um, yes, school education plays a very important role in character building. From nursery itself, our character is being built. For example, in nursery and in playgroup, we are taught how to eat, how is the manner to eat, how to talk with other gender, how to respond if someone is, talking to us, how to respect elders. how to reply them, how to have a group activity together. So these are certain small things apart from the normal syllabus and curriculum, which is a very important role for character building and which is inherently been taught in school. Moral studies and all, yes, that is part of it. So I think these small things are very, very important in our character building and which inherently comes from school. That is the final note which I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akansha, for sharing your valuable insight. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, Saptak Mehta, to speak on the topic importance of school in building character.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible properly?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're audible, Saptak, but like please switch on your cameras and same goes for everybody else.
Yeah, okay. So basically, as per today's topic, that role of school education in building a person's character. Well, I would like to start by saying that a person, like a baby who's born, he or she is raised by their parents, and the first exposure that they get is at school. Now, when they go to school, be it nursery or be it a play school, that is the first exposure that they get, and that is how they learn how the world works. That is how they learn to adapt. Now, at this point of time, this is the very inception point where if we teach a human to be like this or be like that, per se, discipline, manners, um, healthy eating habits, let's say. All of these things, if we teach them at this point, they will keep it on, they will stick to it for life. That is how they learn. Now, in school, usually every school has a strict discipline, strict rules. Why it is so? Because a person at all points of their life has to adhere to something or the other, and that is what children learn from the very basic point of school. So when a baby goes to a play, per se a play school, they learn many things like knowledge is of course there. Knowledge is always there. They learn alphabet, numericals, etc. Other than that, they learn things, manners, such as how to be a disciplined person, how to respect others, how to listen to others, how to talk to others, how to talk out their emotions, what they want to say. Many people cannot express this because they've not been taught to do so since childhood. Now that is where the problem comes in. If they are taught that taught to speak, taught to express their feelings properly since childhood, they get to do that, and that is where school education comes in because school education gives a proper curriculum. The curriculum has been set in a manner that it can help a student in such a way that they will learn this and they will grow from that. Now, another very big example is regarding language. Language is something that a person learns from their mother. That is why we call it mother tongue, from the parents basically. Now, in school, let's say a person who is born in Germany but is of Indian descent will learn German as fluently as a German person if he or she is raised in Germany. That is what I would like to say. That is how important school education is in shaping a person's moral character. Moral character has already been deliberated upon by previous speakers, so I won't need to extend much on it. It has been very well, nicely deliberated upon. So that is how a person learns and that is how a person grows. Therefore, school education is very important in a person's moral development and in character building because that is at the end of the day who they are. And with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Saptak. Yeah, so yes, points well taken. And of course, like the way we learn about ethical problems in school and like the way we view like problems around us also help us to gain different perspective and like view problems around us in different ways and work towards the solutions. So yeah, Jessica would like to address the next speaker. So please, Jessica.
Yes, good evening, everyone. We would further like to continue the session. Next, I would like to call upon Gaurav to speak a few words on the role of school curriculum and structure that play in character building. So yes, on to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, good evening, panel. Good evening, colleagues. What I would like to do today is I would like to begin with an example. Recently, we had an incident in Kerala where a doctor was killed whilst he was trying to help a patient. And the incident is related to what that the person who killed the doctor was himself earlier a teacher. He had been removed from his service due to some of the reasons. The other related example to this is that the health minister commented that the doctor was killed because he was inexperienced. And that health minister is also a postgraduate in physics. So this clearly points out that character and moral values are not inculcated in the school curriculum, and the formal education that we are receiving, that itself is not promoting, that itself is not enough to build a character strong enough so that we are aware about what is happening in our society. This is a very recent example, that is why I wanted to put it out. The other thing is that when you go through the recent draft of NCF also, you will find everything, but you won't find a word on moral education. You go through the entire NCERT website, you won't find a single textbook on moral education. Some of the schools which are run by some organizations, it can be some of the schools run by Chinmaya Mission or DAV, or some run by Christian missionaries. They do offer moral education, but they are just for namesake, and that is where we lack. And the role school curriculum plays there is that I heard some speakers saying that it is not marked and all. The problem is not about marking. We have seen how the learning outcomes are in our schools. People score well, but they are not able to. 5 standard student is not able to read a 2nd standard book. They have scored well, so marking is not the problem. The problem is in the intent. The problem is in the curriculum, where we are not inculcating an objective framework through which we can actually impart the moral values, where we can actually make it meaningful. The problem is that right from the beginning, the way children are, like we say that home is the first school. So I am going way back, away from the school curriculum. But what happens is that when we talk about moral values, it comes to as, what is this person speaking? Why is this person boring me out? So we need to design a curriculum where it is interesting and an objective manner, where we are taught to respect each and every human, irrespective. Like we use statements like, why did you hit that girl? But is it okay to hit a boy? Not at all. So that is the problem, where we have objectified things in a different way. We have made it like an object, but we have not made the curriculum as such objective. And we need to inculcate that in our curriculum, and that is where the school curriculum will play a role in improving the character building and the entire structure of moral values. Thank you. That is what I'll like to put out today.
So I do agree, and I am thankful that you contributed a very insightful opinion. Everyone talks about the problem, but no one talks about the solution. So yes, I agree with you. And yes, so next upon, I would like to call Sanskriti to talk about the role of teachers and school environment. Yeah, on to you, Sanskriti. You're muted.
I'm so sorry. Good evening, everybody. Today I'll start with how a good curriculum and theoretical knowledge is also important, as when somebody would read about it, they are obviously naturally will be prone to imply it in their practical life. But I also believe that, academic achievements and higher qualifications as society is more biased towards people with more of that. And I thoroughly believe that it, um, encourages those higher qualified people in comparison to their peers to develop an ego. And again, Academic centric education is something I am against, as it produces people with more, personality who's their personality just revolves around their academic achievements and nothing else. And that's why interdisciplinary courses or extracurricular activities are equally something to be equally viewed upon and encouraged. And also, should be given chance to pursue their interests and hobbies on the same level. And apart from that, the egocentric thing and how they behave with their academic achievements or their role in their classroom and everything is also highly based upon their personality and their perception. And I think this is here a huge role plays the teacher student interaction. A good educator, a teacher would usually would be just in the class teaching the syllabus, the curriculum, the textual knowledge, and nothing apart from it. We need more good educators who also show the children the importance of the ethical values and everything, as teachers hold the influential power over kids before anything. In this society, it is more believed that school has the responsibility more over, you know, has the upper hand in molding a child's personality and their personality, their ego, their confidence. So I think the good educators should be have the chance to inculcate good moral and ethical values in children. And given that also what plays a major role in children developing their characters and everything is their classmates and how well they blend with their peers. Here I would think that good classroom and peer building exercises should be implemented to build a good bond, as with good friendships and good connections a person can also grow. And as everybody was talking about how they should have a subject and they should be given marks on ethics and everything, I have a friend who failed ethics but he's a good person. So I don't think it's something we should um, you know compare through marks and grade it. It's something that comes from within. And again, people who have the influential power, like teachers, parents, children, like their peers, they should be more made aware of how you have the influence, the power to mold other people around you, as kids in school are very impressionable. um, I think I'll stop here.
Thank you, Sanskriti. That was very informative, and that is true. The role of teachers, peers, and the parents, they play a very important role in the formative years of a person's development. And also, right, you can't ethically judge somebody's ethics. So, yeah, so to call upon the next speaker, we have Vidisha. Vidisha will talk about the need for improvement in moral education in schools. Over to you, Vidisha.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of the points I was supposed to talk about have been covered by Sanskriti, but I'll try to kind of introduce newer points. So when you think about character development in schools, it's usually, moral education, as most people have said, moral science or value education and stuff. And they're mostly developed inculcating values, behaviors, feelings, which are related to ethics, like whether it is respecting elders or justice or environment consciousness and all. It's always to fit into society, to make it more easier for children to fit into society. And it focuses mostly on interpersonal relations, that is your relation with other people. What it lacks is intrapersonal relations, which is something Sanskriti already spoke about, but I just want to kind of elaborate. when it comes to a lot of the times, there's so much of focus on success that you have to work hard to achieve success. But then we're so focused on that aspect that we don't know what to do when we meet failure, even though we've put in a lot of work. And there's not a lot of development when it comes to secure self. The school environment does not focus on kind of allowing people to develop a concrete understanding of their self, whether it comes to dealing with their inner child or whether it is with failure, putting too much of like your self-esteem depends too much on, say, marks, etc. And when you don't end up reaching those qualifications, those external validations, you don't know what to do with yourself. And that can affect negatively in your overall life. And I think that is very important. So I believe that cognitive behavioral therapy based system should be implemented in model education to create a better intrapersonal relation. And secondly, I think there is a need for more action-based and reflective-based learning in model education. Because I remember in like during my language education classes, I don't remember much of the stuff that was spoken about. Like I remember the basic ethical principles that were taught to us, but I remember most of the group activities and the meaning that they brought when I would actually actively be engaging. It shouldn't be passively informing where a teacher would just show you a video and explain a moral idea. But instead, you understanding the concept. Why should we respect elders, or why should we be more collaborative, etc. And there's been this NGO called Yuva Ignites Minds, which focuses on developing consciousness and social responsibility. And they focus on action-based implementation of values. And they've come up with something known as the value wheel, which is kind of like how you have a wheel and then you can just spin it and then you have a bunch of suggestions, which are basically value-based, whether it's like helping someone or thanking people in your life. And you need to follow that value for 24 hours and then you reflect upon it. And it's all right to not succeed. You can still reflect upon how you did not succeed or how you feel about it, which allows it to be more inclusive. It doesn't put too much pressure on you, but at the same time, you are still implementing these values on a day-to-day basis. I think that is something because it's very easily, it can be implemented. And I feel like that is something that should be implemented for a better grasp of moral education. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Vidisha. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Oftentimes, the definition of success relates mostly to achieving certain social markers such as success or such as fame or wealth, which can seriously hinder one's personal growth. So, yeah, we completely agree with you. And to bring in the next speaker, we have Lakshmi. Lakshmi will speak about the curriculum and pedagogy, micro determinants of socialization.
Good evening, all. I'd like to start my speech from the basis of socialization. So it's an aspect of how we build interpersonal relationships and how we interact with other people in our lives. And it's primarily taught from birth, from how we talk and who we talk to, and from the mannerisms we use, the language we use. The primary role is played by parents. But since in modern education, children are at a very early stage are introduced to the environment of a school. Socialization, the shaping of socialization also becomes a very important factor in their school lives as well. Some child psychologists say that children are like blotting paper. They observe everything around them and they learn from it. However small or minute those some behavioral styles or social manners are, they imitate it and they will imitate it later on in their lives as well, if they deem them to be right. So which also means that apart from certain initiatives that schools already undertake to build socialization, like PT periods, extracurricular activities, sports day, etc., etc., all those, apart from those activities, almost every other aspect that is covered even during their so-called academic sessions are also important in shaping their social lives. like so certain broad concepts of initiatives, like for example, even punishment and how punishment is used, the mode of punishment can also go a long way in shaping their social skills. So the problem now is that these initiatives, these concrete curriculum initiatives, they are not being followed out, or like they're not being upheld to the same extent as they are supposed to be. Like with a heavier reliance on meritocracy nowadays, and how some panelists also spoke about the importance of score, quantitative marking in the entire educational spectrum. There also comes this point where, since there's heavier academic concentration, these other extracurricular activities are being compromised. And even simple methods such as more stricter control on how they talk to their peers, when they talk to their peers in between classes, and how the so-called noise is being regulated by asking them all to be silent, also plays a very big role. And for example, I remember in my school days, my teacher used to complain during a parent-teacher meeting a lot that I've been talking a lot. But a lot of educators fail to realize that such interaction during non-academic sessions, they also facilitate helping skills, right? So my teacher would always scold me for talking, but they didn't realize that when I was talking, I was not just talking about stuff that is not related. I was also helping people with their homework or classwork or whatever it is. So that kind of a bond formation is also being disrupted during these, in the name of stricter discipline among students. Right? And yes, discipline is necessary for students to learn when exactly they need to talk and when they shouldn't. But for these kind of determinants are what determine how they treat others in their life after. So for example, if a student does something out of the ordinary, something that is not okay according to the norms, they are being punished, either by standing outside or standing on the bench, or there are a lot of old school punishments for this. They are also sometimes abused. And the manner in which the teachers do these things, or their tone or their mode of questioning, is most likely authoritative. Not all teachers realize that that when it comes to students, if you treat them with the kind of respect that a student is supposed to be treated with, they might surprisingly respond in a more positive way, and they might even show changes in behavior. Like for example, while they are scolding, they do not, sometimes they do not allow the student to talk, but sometimes allowing or even giving them the chance to explain themselves, and where actually noticing and studying whether they actually have a tendency to exhibit these behaviors again, can go a long way in teaching them that an authoritative mode of questioning or punishment is not always necessary, because these students are going to replicate the same thing in their corporate work life. They're still going to treat their juniors or those working under them with the same authoritative, condescending manner. So these small indicators at the very beginning determine how they work later on in their life. And with that, I'd like to conclude that even small initiatives right from the micro level, like facilitating more discussions in classrooms, actually like introducing group projects and not just using them as a curriculum framework in schools, instead increasing the frequency of it, and maybe finding a compromised level of maintaining discipline. For example, instead of like reproaching students for making noise in the classroom during 3 periods, you can be like, it's being disruptive to another class, and you would not like it when you are being disrupted during your class, hence don't do the same to them, and talk in a more agreeable manner. So stuff like this, instead of an authoritative behavior, can go a long way in shaping how students later grow up to be. With that, I'd like to come.
Thank you, Lakshmi. That was a very insightful take on the impact that socialization plays on character building. So for our next speaker, we have Ranjit Nath. Ranjit would like to speak on the role of extracurricular activities in character building of school-going children. Over to you, Ranjit.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so good evening. So I would like to speak on the topic role of extracurricular activities in character building of school children. So if in India, the conventional wisdom, as many speakers before me pointed out, that it has been that only academic success or achievements are the indicator of your development, of your growth at the school level. And we have all been familiar with the saying that if we study well, if we do well, if we score good marks in school, we'll get good jobs and do well in life. But this might still be true, but the issue is that for the holistic development of children, the focus only on academic activities is not enough. The schools also need to focus on various types of extracurricular activities in order for holistic development to be possible. And this perception about academics has been changing in the past few years, and this is also reflected in the national education policy of 2020, because it has a separate section on holistic development and flexible learning and so on. So if you look at the idea of character building, it basically refers to a process whereby a person can achieve certain desirable qualities, certain attitudes, certain behaviors, certain values, which is actually important for their both for their personal growth and also for their role in the society. And schools actually play a very vital role, because they come in at a if they come in at a very early level, that is at the primary stage. If they teach the children how to be better people, if they teach the children various types of values, then that would be very helpful. And this could be done through by encouraging them to participate in various types of extracurricular activities. So in that, it would include sports, because sports is a vital means for students to acquire certain values and traits such as confidence, leadership skills, discipline. And especially in team sports, if they participate, they can acquire certain values such as teamwork, the ability to coordinate, communication, and etc. And other types of extracurricular activities would include the arts, that is music, painting, drama, poetry, writing, and so on. And these activities are very important because they help to nurture the creative instincts of child. We all say that every child is creative, but it is only by nurturing this instinct in them that we truly let them develop. And not only this, we can the indulgence in arts can also help them develop certain other values such as patience, perseverance, discipline, and also time management. And apart from this, certain other extracurricular activities could include volunteering activities, social work. And this is particularly important because it helps to inculcate in a child the very values of humanity, the values of sympathy and empathy. So indulgence in various types, not only one, but various types of extracurricular activities is very important because it helps to inculcate in the children various types of values, which is very important for their personal growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ranjit. I do agree that extracurricular activities play a vital role, as through participation in sports, arts, and clubs, they learn teamwork, discipline, and leadership. These activities do foster creativity, self-expression, and resilience. They do provide a well-rounded education, equipping children with essential life skills beyond academics. So yes, let's support and encourage these activities for holistic development. Yes, okay, on to Abu there. I would like to call Abu there. He will speak about school curriculum in development of the character of students. Yes.
I hope that I'm audible and visible
Yes.
too.
Yes, you are.
So the topic that I'll be speaking on would be the school curriculum in the development of a positive character of a child. So majority of the points have already been discussed by the previous interns, but I like to add some more points, majorly the concluding points. So we know that kids spend most of their times in school only. So the right classroom environment can help in positive character development of a child. Kids' interaction with their peers and teachers give them many opportunities to learn valuable lessons. Classroom environment has a major impact on kids. It is like their second home where they spend most of their time in a day. When a classroom has a positive environment, it aids in the development of a positive character in children too. Now, mainly the concluding points for that. Open classrooms are one such tool which is used to give that liberty and space to children to help them reach their full potential. When children are given the opportunity and guidance, they naturally develop a good character. Classroom is a place where exchange of ideas takes place. If we keep our lesson delivery more interactive, we will help children develop confidence. With the changing times, we need to change ourselves and methods of teachings as well. Our focus should not only be to deliver a lecture, but to also impart positive values in children. Uh, Positive reinforcement can be one of the way to encourage children to develop good values. For instance, on a weekly basis, one or more children can talk about their acts where they show the kindness, acted honestly, and or help someone in need. This is something that schools can inculcate in their curriculum. Uh, in many schools nowadays, especially in the top schools in India, a few minutes of morning class are used to give children to speak about their feelings. This would help them to express their feelings, that what they are feeling right now, and it would also help them to develop a bond with their teachers and peers as well. Third point would be social service is another such habit which the top schools in India are already inculcated in their curriculum. This would help to learn the children about majorly to understand their responsibility towards the society. This would help in the overall holistic development of children. That's it.
Thanks a lot. You added some concluding points to it. Yes, by integrating moral education, social activities, and life skills training, we can empower the students to become responsible citizens with a strong character who are ready to face the challenges of the world. So yes, on to Jack. She will be speaking about the role of teachers in character building. This one.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to speak on the topic, the role of the teachers in character building and how they can influence it. So after the parents, we know that teachers play a very vital role in building the character of students. And as most students say that school is their second home because they learn most of their values, such as becoming a compassionate and good human being and having good critical and rational mindsets and developing emotional intelligence, etc., in the school itself. Children spend most of their time in school, so it is very important for them to be in place where they can build their self-esteem and a positive environment. So teacher act as a role model in the lives of students, and students in their early age, like we know most of the students after coming back from their school told their mother like they try to intimidate their favorite teachers by following their actions, and they try to instill those habits and values of their teachers in their daily lives as well. So teachers should not be partial while dealing with students, because sometimes students feel that teacher is favoring certain number of students in the class, which can have a negative psychological impact on the minds of student as well. And a positive feedback by the teachers in like parent teacher meeting can help the student to perform better and excel in academics and various curricular activities as well. So teachers also recognize the different abilities and skills of the students, and they formulate her strategies and teaching practices in accordance with same, so that each student can learn in a fun and inclusive environment. Also, young children learn a lot from their environment and teachers by observing. So it is the primary duty of teacher to help children build their character in a positive manner. Teachers encourage students to perform better in their life and work up to their true and full potential. So they also guide students through demanding educational activities and challenging tasks. Assume further that teacher leadership duties both inside and outside of the classrooms. Students gain many academic and as well as social possibilities from their teachers' efforts, and they also learn the various qualities of their teachers like the leadership skills and commitment and cooperation and how hardworking their teachers are throughout their school life from their teachers itself. Also, a teacher has a key role to play in encouraging students and participating in meaningful extracurricular activities for their utmost benefit. So, be it sports, crafts, or competitions, or any other activities, the students are encouraged to participate in these activities because of their teachers as well. So, these activities have a unique opportunity to instill good character traits in students. Also, students get highly influenced by the remarks given by their teachers in academics, projects, or any other responsibility that is assigned by the teachers to them. So at last, I would like to conclude by saying that teachers play a very vital role in building the character of students. So they should not be partial while dealing with students so that they can lead the good generation of the academicians and engineers and doctors in the life.
Thank you, Chehek. Yes, you did touch upon a very good point here, where their influence, it does go beyond academics, like preparing students to become responsible and compassionate individuals in society. So yes, next I would like to call upon Krishna to talk about the importance of classroom environment on character development. Andre.
Hello, and thank you so much. I've been like 15 minutes late to this because I was not unaware that it was going to start by 7:16. I'm extremely sorry. And I'm pretty sure all that I'm going to say is almost covered, but I am to just, go through the same thing. I'm sorry about it. So I'd like to start again with the importance of, the classroom environment as well as the influence teachers have or elders surrounding children have on their character development. So just like Lakshmi said previously, children absorb everything around them, right? So I would say that teacher training as well as awareness on child psychology as well as the mind development in children, there are great importance. So teachers and elders who are surrounding, they have this great responsibility because since children's mind are in a process of developing what is right and what is wrong, carelessness in dealing with a child's mind can actually end up in a lasting impact on how they perceive things around them, right? So hence I can say that what they absorb, what children absorb can define their character. That is, they can make or break an individual. uh, Up next is the curriculum, of course, moral education, as we said again. Again, the committee who is setting curriculum, that is, or they could be teacher trainers or pedagogy experts in any sort of board, state board or NCERT, whoever, they must all be, ultra aware of what children see and what they hear. Because I've personally experienced casual ignorance as well as bigotry, people jumping onto the bandwagon of bigotry when right in front of kids who are developing their minds, like in forms of sexism or class-based differentiation in classroom. Like, and this could not just be through teachers; it could be via the families, who instill such thoughts into children. And once such thoughts are imprinted in children, it's extremely difficult to shake these off again. And I'd like to say that extracurriculars again have a huge role in like creating compassion within kids. Even if it comes to bringing children closer to nature, nurturing plants, or like even occasions like it is something that I'm doing. It having compassion to even towards inanimate objects. I don't know if I can call trees inanimate, but yeah, that. So I believe what the people or the bigotry that is children experience around them can actually create everlasting impact in them. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, teachers are role models, and they have this ability to instill open-mindedness. So teachers making careless remarks in classroom have this huge impact. And earlier, I saw one of the interns speak about punishment, like corporal punishment on children. And personally, I've had this horrid experience of teachers punishing misbehavior in classroom by seating a person with the opposite gender. It is one of the most worst experiences I've ever had. I'm pretty sure a lot of us who are with us in this meet have seen such instances in classroom. Again, teachers also have this huge role in building relationships and trust. So once you have a problem personally, or like a collective issue, uh, you have this freedom, or freedom to approach your teacher in any sort of problem. That is a huge what can I say, responsibility, as well as it kind of sets a platform for the kids, as well as you know in turn of I'm very sorry in turn of corporal punishment, reflection on mistakes, constructive criticism, character reform, attitude, all this should be taken more seriously and must also be taken to be a part of pedagogy as well as teacher training, which is actually being given more importance in the recent years. So I'd like to conclude by saying that everything comes down to teacher commercial
Really, you're not audible enough. Your voice is breaking. Um, well, it's okay. It's all right. I think you have connectivity issues. Okay. Um, so yes, I agree that a positive atmosphere encourages growth, fosters creativity, and instills values that shape individuals into responsible and compassionate citizens. Let's prioritize creating conducive classrooms for holistic development. So yes, next I would like to call upon Kushagar to talk about teaching values and values through education. Yes, on to you, Kushagar.
Yeah. So I feel character building has got many values attached to it. Like in school life, while our character is in its shaping duration, there are many things we learn. Things related to our professional life, things related to our personal life. So overall, whatever we learn at that time shapes us as a person. I'll try to focus more on the personal side of a person rather than on the professional characteristics they build in their personality, because virtues such as being passionate, being trustworthy, being helpful to others are few things that if they are imbibed in students' building age, like at a very small age, it will remain throughout. So if these values are incorporated, are in some way incorporated, not just through reading material or anything of that sort, through practice more to say. So that would affect and build their character in a very nice way. That would eventually be good for the society if everyone is of that view. So I think there is a stark need that we incorporate few changes. Like one I have is that there should be we heard of it like happy classes when the Delhi government started it. So that's good. That's for the mental health. But we can do it something called character classes, where we like moral science as a subject is just confined as a subject. People don't learn mostly from it. So let's rebrand it. Let's rebrand and make it more practical,
Rather than telling stories from third person view from a textbook, let's onboard people, from influential people of the city who have done something good, call them to the class in the character classes, and make them the speaker for that day, and let the small students learn from it. Because now when I hear inspirational stories, I just draw inspiration from it, not like I draw it so that it fuels my professional growth. But as a kid, when I would listen to it, I would focus more on the human characteristic part of it, because at that time you aren't aware of the professional things that you'll be focusing that you'll be facing in the life ahead. So if at that age, if people perceive things in that manner, it would be really good, and it would totally build the student's character, and they'll be able to learn virtues. So yeah, this was my point. Thank you.
Thank you for like thank you for instilling a very good insight that practical example is important in a classroom. And yes, storybooks don't actually matter anymore. They're just fantasies, just not practical at all. Yes, by instilling virtues like kindness, honesty, and empathy, we create a foundation for compassionate and responsible citizens, of course. Value education cultivates strong character, guiding students to make ethical choices that ultimately benefit themselves and the society. So, yes, next I would like to call upon Prathamesh. Prathamesh, would you like to contribute to this discussion? Prathamesh, can you kindly unmute and switch on your camera and kindly add to this discussion? You're not audible if you're speaking. Okay, then I would like to call upon Shruti. While Prathamesh fixes his mic, Shruti, would you like to contribute to this discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I would like to address the gender biases created during the school era. So when we are here talking about the personality changes and character building during the school time of the students, but at the same time, student build some biases inside them, which are taught by society, teachers, and parents also. We can't held responsible for we can't hold teachers only responsible for their character building, because even teachers has some their biases, and that reflect in their teaching and other things. So main purpose should be developing a capacity of the student to think rationally about the issues. And here I would like to talk specifically about gender, because there are separate schools for girls and boys, and they have their previous biases regarding opposite gender. And when they grow up and come to college, they have some dilemmas or previous biases about the other gender, and so they can't initiate the communication, or they can't work properly. And when they join any company or professional life, their previous biases affect their productivity and companionship with other colleagues. So during school days, these issues should be addressed, and there should not be any kind of stereotype with that. And these are things, how they treat other gender. These are the things which develop the characteristics in their personality. So these issues should be addressed. Thank you.
Shruti, yes, I do agree that although directly it might not be affecting the character development of the students. But yes, it is essential that we acknowledge this problem and take steps to address it. By fostering a fair and equal educational environment, we can empower our future generations to embrace diversity and equality. So yes, I hope Prathamesh has fixed his mic.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Can you please switch on your camera?
Yeah, just a second. So, I think so. Most of the topics are like very correctly covered by all the previous speakers. So I would just like to throw some light on what basically my views on the topic basically. Considering a point of how some intern, I do not exactly remember the name mentioned in the very beginning. How one such example said by a teacher, where there has been some sort of negative experience in terms of their teaching methods, should be considered an example for a widespread method or an adaptive teaching. I think so. There are some flaws in the system. Rather, but they should not be overshadowed. Rather, they should not be considered as one such building point for all the issues out there. Considering how the normal or the academic curriculum could or would affect the moral policies building, so I think so it does. And if a certain child or a certain teacher does not fit in the criteria of what we expect formal academic teaching to do, I don't think so we should disregard the entire academic teaching. I personally believe that some sort of, rather, some part of grasping and rather behaving falls in the hands of the students, falls in the hands of an individual teacher. Even though a teacher is going to, put some negative aspect on through academic curriculum, it again comes down to students on so as to what kind of influence they're going to take. So, however true the fact may be that teachers do put influence in the life of children or their academic upbringing, rather moral upbringing, I don't think so. The academic curriculum would solely be responsible for either a positive or a negative transformation of a child's development. Considering and accepting the fact of how important the moral education, or say for example NEP extracurricular activities, do actually play a role in character building, that would not totally be over, be dependent, or that would just not be the only factor. There are some things that are in the hands of students, because I understand that students are because they're little, they're children, they are not that ready to grasp all the information, rather take all the knowledge that is there and decide what's good for them, what's bad for them. And truly agreeing that they do consider teachers as their role models in the early stage of life. At that case, yes, there is a certain time limit so as to when that's basically a rough guess of how a student, till when a student actually follows or tries to cope up with what's happening around them. But after a certain stage, a child may or may not develop some levels of maturity. So academic curriculum, I think so, does not totally play a role in the character building, be it negative, be it positive. So rather than rather changing academic curriculum, I think so we should add more focus on their moral building, moral values. And now by moral values, it does not really mean that we have to take up a new subject, a new course, modify the existing curriculum. A simple basic liberal thinking while teaching, while interacting. uh, let's say for example, even today in Indian education, in schools, males, rather men, are considered superior to females for absolutely no reason. They are given some sort of upper hand. uh, like, there are so many things that are just ignored while we are teaching. So if we are to modify that, if we are to going to bring a liberal thinking with that point of view, I think so the work is already done. So if you're teaching a lesson, if you're going on a picnic, having tiffins, rather making students, forcing students to sit beside a girl as a punishment, is something that is very, proficiently happening in Indian schools. So the child is first humiliated that you are being made to sit besides a girl. That is something that should be changed, and that would not happen if you are going to take up, audit academic curriculum, bring in moral value education class. No, simply stop doing that. And for that, I think so teachers who are doing that, and Indian education system is still not that liberal that we can actually raise our voice against the teachers and expect that no repercussions would be implied upon us. So I think so some sort of teachers training with terms of liberal and social values would be much appreciated. And I think so that is the only answer to a question of how a school, rather how education that is being provided in the school could make difference in, uh, just a second. Yeah, so I'm so sorry. Yeah, so that is the thing. I would like to end my observation by teachers training is definitely important, and some sort of liberal approach to the conventional approaches to everything that we do in a normal school would definitely mean and would definitely bust the myths of how academic curriculum would or would not actually affect the moral character building of students. Thank you.
So much, Prathamesh, for contributing to this discussion. You made some really good points regarding gender bias. And yes, as a, making guys sit beside girls as a punishment. And I guess that was a very good point you made. I would also like to add on to a point regarding NEP. So the national education policy and other government policies recognize the importance of character building in schools. The NEP emphasizes the integration of the value education and life skills development in the curriculum. It promotes the holistic development of students, focusing on their cognitive, social, emotional, and ethical growth. Government policies should continue to support initiatives that provide resources, training, and guidelines for schools to effectively integrate character building into their educational practices in general. Next, also, I would like to talk about the technology. Technology can also be harnessed to facilitate character building in schools. Educational apps, online platforms, and digital resources can be used to deliver moral and value-based content to students. Technology can provide interactive and immersive learning experiences, allowing students to explore ethical dilemmas, engage in ethical decision-making simulations, and participate in online discussions about character-related topics. Additionally, technology can be utilized to promote positive online behavior, digital citizenship, and responsible use of technology. So, yes, in conclusion, school education plays a vital role in character building, molding values, attitudes, and skills of students. Now, I would like to call upon Sneha if she would like to contribute.
So I would like to thank all the speakers for their insightful and observant views on the significance of school education and character building. From today's discussion, it can be realized how schools play a pivotal role in character building. The significance of academic skills and knowledge is undeniable. However, in the run for gaining materialistic success via education, often the broader purpose of education is lost, which is creating well-rounded and empathetic human beings. So, as mentioned by many speakers today, teachers and mentors they are the primary role models for students, and it is their ideologies that are primarily passed on to the students, because in the formative years, they act as primary caregivers. So therefore, along with the curriculum, it is a duty of the teachers to ensure a positive and inclusive environment for the students, and to help in developing traits in self-reliance and self-awareness in students. So yeah, I would like to conclude by once again thanking all of the speakers for joining us here for this discussion today. It has been great interacting with all of you. So yes, let's conclude the meet. You all may leave the meet.